Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Technic Trials with your host, Nighthawk. This episode is going to be a little bit different. I thought it's about time that we transition to a little bit larger base platform. So as you can see, we're running at about triple speed right now. And just to avoid too much tedium in the whole building process, figured to run this episode fast, and that way you can see it being built without too much of the drudgery. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up a treehouse up in these trees here, and that'll serve as our more permanent base structure for venturing out into more of the Thaumcraft and other parts of the Technic mod pack. So I gathered a bit of wood, and we're heading up into the trees here, and going to start building out a platform to work from. So right now I'm just figuring out exactly where I'm going to build out at, and starting to get some of the leaves cleared out of the way. And I started building across with the planks and was finding it very difficult to actually stay on them. I wanted to have the whole platform structure using half planks, but that just was not working for me, and I'm not talented enough to do the long build-outs without having some way of using shift without falling off. So switched to the wooden planks, and as you can see, I'm starting to build out a kind of a structure between two of the trees. And this is going to be a little bit tedious in spots, but hopefully you'll enjoy the progress that happens in the process of building this out. So I got the first support beam built out to the between the trees, and now I'm building out the second support beam that kind of will form the basis of the tree house. As he needs more wood there, or needs more planks to work with there. I'm trying to keep most of the structure, most of the base structure is all going to be one type of wood, and some of the other parts of the treehouse structure will be using some different materials as well. Want to keep it all relatively natural, so a lot of wood involved in this. So now we got two of the beams put together, and I'm building out the third beam back to the first tree, and then we'll start filling in the gaps to build a platform. So now we got the three basic beams put together. And just kind of surveying the area a little bit, trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do this next phase. And now we are filling in the gaps to build the floor for our main treehouse. Kind of what I have in mind for the long-term structure here is to we'll start with this first building and extend out with bridges and all sorts of other structures between the different trees to build supporting structures at various spots in the trees here. I want to take all of the industrial craft and more mods that are not quite as natural based down to underground facilities, and use the logistics pipes and other tools like that to bring materials up and down from the underground structures up into the tree houses. So right now I'm just extending out some additional platforms out underneath of the out the sides of the building here, framing up some doorways. I kind of like the contrasted materials with the doorways, that a different color there. I do try out some different combinations in the process of building this out as well. And head down to pick up some more materials from the old shelter there. Trying to avoid getting killed by the werewolves. Not to mention the skeleton that's trying to sneak in there. Oh, and a creeper to make the party complete there. Gotta be careful because I don't want to have him blow up the house here. Now I can actually take care of that werewolf and get him out of the way. Sleep and get back to daylight so I can actually harvest some material without killing myself here. And just have to head off and collect some more wood. So that's what I'm doing here, is heading back over to the woods back closer to the village that I discovered earlier on to harvest a bunch more trees. And getting some achievements that I figured I should have already had, but must be some little quirk going on there. And harvesting a bunch of trees. Takes a lot of wood to build up the structure the way I had in mind. I realized that the goats were eating my saplings and everything else that was dropping on the ground here. So I had to get rid of those goats so that I could actually keep the stuff that was falling out of the trees. I found that the big trees tend to drop things for quite some time as their leaves decay and fall around. The one drawback to Treecapitator is that even though all the wood actually is cut simultaneously, the leaves are still left behind, so on the bigger trees, the wood can end up trapped on top of the leaves, and you don't actually see it fall for quite some time after you actually cut the tree. So you're going to have to stick around the area and wait for it all to fall down. Treecapitator definitely saves a lot of time in harvesting lumber, though. Hey, look, a zebra. I do like the Mo Creatures add-on. I'm trying to get this horse to actually pay attention and be a friend there. Then I get bitten by a snake and poisoned. Grab some sugar cane there. Make use of that later on. I was playing with a couple of the other mods on a test world that I've got running, and thinking about how I want to progress building out this world, and got some ideas that I think will prove interesting in the future, in some future episodes coming up. So stay tuned for those. It should be interesting. Make sure the rats don't stick around for nightfall here. Found that there's a lot of interesting new mods in the Technic SSP. I've played a lot of Technic, a lot of Tekkit rather, and enjoy a lot of the industrial craft and equivalent exchange on Technic. But I hadn't played a lot of the Technic SSP mode, and there are a couple of interesting mods that are not included in the Tekkit multiplayer version. So I'm looking forward to exploring those a lot more. That includes the Thaumcraft, and it also includes some of the mods like Steve's Carts, which I think will be very interesting. I do look forward to playing with Railcraft a lot more as well. And I think I'll be able to come up with some interesting ways of doing some farming without using the forestry mods that have been removed from Technic due to the issues with the original author of the mod and things like that. So finally back up to the treehouse and make some more progress building things out. I decided after coming back that using the lighter colored wood on the bottom layer would probably actually look better all the way around. So here I am swapping out all of the lower layer of wood for the lighter color. I liked the contrast with the floor a lot better with the lighter color of wood on the walls. Get some more torches up to make sure we don't end up with anything spawning up here. Get that last wall replaced. I also left a ledge all the way around the outside of the treehouse so that we can get around the outside pretty easy. I'm not going to put any... I don't think I'm going to put any fence up at this point. But that may get added later on to improve the safety of it a little bit more. Don't want to accidentally be falling off. There I decided to add a front door to the treehouse to make it look a little bit nicer. I'm checking to see if I get two different types of stairs to work with, but it looks like I only get the one type of stair. And get some chests put down so we can get some of the excess stuff out of my inventory. And back over to work on the building a little bit more here. Decided it was time to start building down some, building a path down to the ground level. Just trying some different layouts. I thought I'd build a little bit of a balcony out. And back down to making a stairway down to the ground here. Using half slabs instead of stairs, just because I think I like the look a little bit better. Has a more gradual feel to it using the half slabs, which I can like the effect more. And find the this one block is in the way, and I forget about Treecapitator, and whoops, there goes the whole tree. So what to do? Planting a sapling there and making it grow is not going to build it back up the way I need it to, so I decided I'm just going to build a new tree, even though it won't have quite the same organic feel to it. It'll be close enough for, at least for the time being, and we can make some adjustments to it later on. So here we go, putting up a new support tree, and hopefully I won't end up making any more trees disappear quite like that, because yeah, that wasn't good. I'll have to later on trim some vines and leaves from some of the other trees in the area to redecorate this tree to make it look more natural again. But for now, at least I got the tree back in place, and here I am taking a look around a couple of things and planning the next moves there. So now we've got most of the ramp, got the ramp partially done, and we're going to climb back up the tree. Actually, I end up having to climb up one of the other trees because no longer have the vines up anymore. Back up here and build out a new platform, a new way out from this tree. And go back over and finish working on our circular staircase around the tree here. It's a little bit of a pain building downwards this way, but not too bad. And here I am making sure that that creeper doesn't go and ruin our day even more. Kept hearing that snake hiding in the trees there, and kept making me nervous that he's going to end up coming across him unexpectedly there. And there we have our staircase done. So now I'm going to go and take some more stuff up into the tree, start transitioning most of our resources up into the tree at this point, reduce the number of trips we have to make down to the old shelter. I do end up making a couple of runs here, I think, and the sorting all of the organization is going to be pretty ugly for a little while. I'll probably do some work on the organization later on off camera just to get things sorted out a little bit better and make it easier to keep track of where things are. And one of the take a quick look out from the tree and go down and get some more stuff out of the shelter before it gets too dark here. Take the bed and a bunch more stuff up to the treehouse, leaving some of the older tools behind because we don't need to take those and keep carrying those around with us. And back up we go. Back up in our nice safe treehouse. Sleep through the night just so we don't have to worry about things spawning while we're working up here. And kind of a weird bug with the spawn there. It spawned me on the outside of the wall instead of inside the wall. It's kind of strange. Not sure what was going on with that. So finish taking some more stuff up into the treehouse. I do very much like the view out from the balcony of the treehouse. Gives a pretty long distance view and really a nice view of the landscape. Grab some more stuff to take up. Got a tree that grew. Then I came across that tiger and yeah, he made short work of me. This time when I came back down there I was paying a little bit better attention and managed to pummel him to death with my fists. Originally I'd caught the glimpse of the tiger out of the corner of my eye and I just wanted to go look at him a little bit closer, and he decided he wanted me for lunch. So, finished taking that last load of stuff back up to the treehouse. This should be the majority of the stuff that we had down there at this point. Tried to do a little bit of organizing, and kept changing my mind on how I wanted things sorted out. Never have too many chests there. And there we go. Need to get some. Got the furnace laid down and decided to move it closer so it was out of the doorway a little bit more. Make some charcoal. I had a fair bunch of coal. I'm not sure why I decided I needed more charcoal, but never have too much, I guess. And I do have plenty of wood at this point. And get a shovel to work with. Move all of the food and other organic stuff into one chest there. And back to work. Let's see what we're doing here. Our sand. I think I was going to make some glass here. Collect a bunch of sand. Collect it underwater, sure, why not? I was about to collect a bunch without it eroding the shoreline too much, is kind of my thought there. Didn't want it to be too visible that I just stripped a bunch of the sand away. And by taking it from underwater, it makes it less obvious that there's things missing. You get a quick glimpse of what the treehouse is starting to shape up as, and decided to get some lights up on the outside of the spiral staircase here. Build out a little bit more of a platform at the top. As I was coming up the stairs, I kind of just about ran right over the top edge of it, and decided that was probably not a good thing to do. So I thought I'd get a little bit more of a platform put together for where you come out of the come off the staircase into. Get some sand cooking into glass there. Make it a little bit easier to walk around up here. Trying to figure out how to make the glass panes, and realize I didn't have enough glass yet. Go for some glass panes so I can start putting together the windows here. And already wasting a little bit of glass. Like the nice big bay window for the main front window there. And back to using the darker wood for the upper layers of the house. Decided I needed to move my bed a little bit, somewhere a little bit safer, and make sure I reset my spawn so I didn't have to worry about running back again. And more glass panes to get some other windows done. And I was looking here, trying to figure out how I was going to do the windows, and ultimately decided that the shape of the house that I had put together was not going to work for windows. So, as you see here in a moment, we're going to change the shape of it a little bit and try to make that work a little bit better. I guess first I put the start putting some roof material together. Trying to figure out exactly how I wanted to build the roof. And of course requires several trips up and down the building just to start getting some of the shape together. And here we can see building out the outer platform a little bit more to reshape the structure a little bit more. As like I said, the odd shape to the walls was not working very well for building out especially for building out the roof and the windows as well. And now get the other corner squared out more. Not a real big fan of this just plain square shape to it, or plain rectangular shape, but it's a lot easier to build good-looking windows and in the structure if you don't have weird shapes to work with, in the corners especially. So may come up with something different for some of the other buildings, but for now the first main building here will just be a bit more square. And here we go, building up some more of the roofing structure, and ran out of steps again. Make a bunch more wooden steps to work with. And here I'm building a ceiling to the inner part of the building. And the ceiling's going to be all the darker wood. And just going around and filling in the whole structure here. And ending up on the wrong level. And just about done putting all of the ceiling together. I decided to end up leaving the most of the roof flat and just having the couple layers of steps as the border of it, at least for the time being. I'm sure I can come back later and come up with something that may look a little bit nicer for the roofing, but for now I think the 2 layers of steps will work fine for our roof at this point. Just have to come back up here and finish putting the steps in place. And that pretty much covers the main part of the roof. Go back down and light up the roof so we don't end up with any nasty monsters spawning on top of our house, because that wouldn't be good either. Now that the roof is all lit up, we're going to take out our steps that we used to get up there, finish closing it back up, and start building some more, start building the rest of the windows in. I didn't end up finishing all of the windows in this episode, but I'll probably finish doing a little bit of the last bit of trim that I didn't get to before I start recording the next episode. Another big bay window for the back. And where I'm leaving the gaps like that, I'm planning on putting in, I'm also going to put in some dividers just to make it look a little bit nicer as well. I think too many of the big bay windows is not going to work either. So make some doors to close the building off from the outside. Make some more doors. And that's about it for this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. And rate and comment on the videos. I'd greatly appreciate it. And thank you for watching. Have a good night.